Hi Leo, this is Angel Aura Divination, and I'm here to give the sign of Leo their mid-June 2021 Tarot and Oracle message. I'm going to be using the Energy Oracle to give you the main parts of the message. Then I'm going to be utilizing the Morgan Greer Tarot to get some of the deeper messages in there, and using the Star Tarot as well to give me some of these messages as well. I love the Star Tarot deck. I just got it. I love the symbolism and the imagery in the cards, and they're great cards when you use intuition for your readings, so I definitely suggest them if there are any readers watching these videos. I also want to suggest listening to the collective reading that I did for this week. It's already up by the time you're watching this video, and I really enjoyed doing that reading this week. It was really eye-opening to actually feel the energy of the collective a little stronger than I did the last time I did the reading. So I'm kind of hopeful that we can continue to build a community here through my tarot channel, and also just in general on YouTube. I think that's really inspiring. I also want to say that that reading would give you a lot of insight on some of the things that all of the signs are going through. So if you listen in for other people, or if you do cross-watching on my channel or other people's channels, maybe you'll catch some of those energies as well. Anyway, I'm just going to get into the reading now with the Energy Oracle. So let's get into your reading, Leo. Okay, we have 3 cards for you. Interesting, because 2 of these cards have come out for other signs. Not that that means anything, but it's just always interesting to see. But we're going to start how they came out. So we're going to start with hostilities. This is a 26 reducing to an 8, talking about the infinite possibilities of the universe when you connect to the divine. But ultimately, what this card is really emphasizing for you at this time, Leo, is that you're experiencing hostilities. People are either being hostile with you, or you're being hostile with others. You feel like there's something that you need to be defending, or you're starting to notice that people are being defensive with you. So are you the predator or are you the prey here? That's the real question that's coming out to me right now, and I think that it's in your best interest to really understand how you stand, or where you stand, better yet, with the people that you're dealing with on a regular basis energetically, because some of these people might even have some kind of hidden motives when it comes to dealing with you. Things are very clear as far as communication would be concerned. There's very cutting communication going on right now, but how the relationships stand around you, there might be a little bit of fog or illusion. There might even be somebody waiting in the midst behind you to really kind of stab you in the back. So be prepared for that if that's something that you're not already prepared for. A lot of the themes that were coming up in the collective reading had happened to be about spiritual protection, and that keeps coming up for all the signs. So that's definitely something that I'm going to work on today. I actually need to do that today. So that's interesting that that's even coming up, though. You are really needing to focus on spiritual protection at this time, especially if you feel like anybody's dealing with you monetarily. I think that that's going to really come out. That somebody might have some hidden motives about that right now, and it's better to be spiritually protected before something comes your way. You know what I mean? Because when you're connected and grounded spiritually, you can withstand the other aspects of life a little bit easier, in my opinion. The Star Tarot card that came out for hostilities, we have the 8 of Wands, and this is the second 8 out of the 2 8s that are, these are both 8 cards. This is the 8 of Wands. This is the 8 as in 26 reducing to an 8, like I said, for the Energy Oracle. The 8 of Wands is really about making good choices in the traditional tarot, but what I'm really seeing here, you could even be connecting astrologically to somebody, or you might even be going deeper into your astrological studies to really have a better understanding of who you are and how you function when it comes to your own relationships. I see with the 8 of Wands here. I also think that you're going to be energized by the universe. The universe is giving you an upgrade, but this is an upgrade that has to do with energy, how to go about life in a more functional way for yourself, and possibly even when it comes to work or other aspects of life where you need more energy. So if you're dealing with if you're dealing with lackadaisical energy, lethargy, or anything like that, I see that kind of being cleared out for you with the 8 of Wands here. You're going to be moving a lot faster. I also suggest possibly looking for outlets for some of this energy if you feel like you're already facing that energized state, because they're showing me the Energizer Bunny. So yeah, maybe you need to take some time outside, go to some events. I know a lot of things are opening up now from quarantine and stuff, so of course you can always go do that stuff if you're really interested in it. They're showing me the Energizer Bunny. What would that mean, though? That could even be something like You know, if you're interested in music or something like that, possibly going to a festival or going to like a concert or something like that. I'm not really sure because he plays the drum. Anyway, the two Morgan Greer tarot cards that we have out for you right now is Temperance and the Five of Wands. You could be dealing with the Sagittarius, or a Sagittarius energy might be out in front of you right now, because I'm seeing Temperance as an individual, but I also see that the Temperance is a call to action for you to focus on balancing out your energies, especially if you're getting a psychic upgrade with this energetic upgrade that you're receiving from the universe at this time, or even from your guides. With the Five of Wands, there is going to be some conflict in how to deal with your energy moving forward, especially when you're dealing with the hostilities of other individuals, which is why Temperance is here to call for balance. I think ultimately that you're going to be facing a little bit more of but it's like, on the other hand, it's like balance here is not going to be stagnating yourself with the Hanged Man coming out next. I think ultimately you are going to be facing a lot of internal conflict based on how people are going to be dealing with you, and you are going to be defensive yourself when it comes to individuals around you, and that's going to benefit you because you need to use your discernment better when it comes to dealing with people in general. I can tell, especially if you're getting this energetic upgrade where you're really moving faster in life, just in general, or even at work. If you work in the service industry, I can see you even having a lot more energy when you deal with other people. You might even be working kind of as a battery. That's why they were showing me the Energizer Bunny. You're a battery, baby. That's cool. Anyway, we have the Wheel of Fortune here. So situations that no longer serve you are being pushed out of your life due to the universe, I see. And the reason why I say that is because the wheel is being turned by a divine hand, and some individuals are falling off of the wheel. But in this case, it's actually being shown that a king and queen are at the top of the wheel being left behind. So if you are in some kind of divine union, that might be what you need to work on defending for some reason, especially in the spiritual sense. And maybe even put some time into meditation after all this energetic upgrade comes, because you'll have a psychic upgrade that will come along with that not too long after if you really pay attention to it. I think ultimately you're going to need to put an effort to not only protect yourself from other people on this in the spiritual, oh my gosh, but also to be grateful for the abundance that you do have. The next two cards that we have out is the Two of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. They're going to have to make some decisions on what's really important to you here in these energies, because there are things that are going to be very important to you, yes, but there are also obligations that no longer serve you that you're going to have to be dropping or cutting out, which is really what I was seeing with the Wheel of Fortune energy as I was looking at the card. The next two cards that we have out is Death and the Star. These are huge energies for you, talking about who you could be dealing with right now. You might have a Scorpio in your life, or possibly even an Aquarius. We also have the Empress and Judgment. These are four major arcana that all jumped out of the deck. Not only do you have Temperance, not only do you have the Wheel of Fortune, you have Death, you have the Star, right? And then you also have the Empress and Judgment. So it's like there's a lot of stuff going on in your life, and a lot of new beginnings happening for you once you balance out your energy and figure out what it is that's important to you. So I would say really right now you need to be figuring out what your priorities are so that you can make the manifestations you need to make, and also be able and prepared to defend them when it comes into play. I think that there might even be some spiritual attacks coming your way, but you're going to be prepared for them. With Judgment and the Empress here, I see you actually even creating a fortress, and this is not a fortress like the tower where it's going to topple over time. This is a fortress that's going to be sustained. And the reason why I say that is because the Empress is all about abundance, but look at the shield that she's holding, and her counterpart is the Emperor. So the Emperor would be the strategist, he would be the offensive, the Emperor would be the defensive in this scenario. Especially with Judgment being here, you're utilizing your discernment. I even see you utilizing those cat-like or reptilian-like reflexes, the cat-like reflexes, especially for the Leos, to really figure out what do I need to be protecting here, and why do I need to be protecting it, what is important to me, and really pushing anything that's not important to you out of the way or out of focus right now, so that you can have clarity when if a spiritual attack were to come in. Now, this does not mean that you need to be defensive, but it does mean that you need to be prepared. Cats always land on their feet, but the reason why they land on their feet is because they're always prepared to fall. And that's really all the guidance that I need to give you as far as hostilities are concerned. The next energy oracle card that we have is Patience. This is a 16 reducing to a 7. The 7 is a lucky number related to the divine. And I want to say with this that your guides are on your side here with your manifestations. Your manifestations are connected to divine timing, but I also am focusing on the bright light behind the angel in this card. The angel of patience is waiting for you, and you are being guided right now towards whatever it is that you're manifesting in your life. whether that's a job situation, a romantic situation, or something else. I think ultimately, though, that your luck is on your side, and the reason why I'm saying that is because the sun is shining down on the back of the angel. So there might be, exactly, so it's like there's a higher force that's leading your guides right now, especially if you do any kind of work with deities, or any kind of work with any saints, any deities, any archangels and things like that. That's what's really pushing for your manifestation to come into play. The universe wants certain things to be coming into you right now, and you need to be aware of that. But it's coming in on divine timing, so if you feel like things are moving slow, you need to practice patience, which is the whole point in the card. Ultimately, I think also, though, that you might even be getting that spiritual upgrade a little faster than you think. With the Queen of Swords here, this is another confirmation that there is something in your energy that you need to defend, especially with your logic and intuition, which is why I was talking about being on your feet. Now let's see what the Queen of Swords and Patience are about here. I need to actually pull a Star Tarot card, so I'm going to do that before I get into the reading any further. Let's see. It would be really interesting if we got the Queen of Swords out from the Star Tarot. That has happened before. Let's see. What do we have for patience for Leo? We have the Hierophant. The Hierophant has been coming out for a lot of people. I think that there might even be some kind of spiritual awakening, or possibly even a religious movement that's going to take the forefront in the next couple of months, possibly. But that's just because the Hierophant keeps coming out, and I've been getting it like with all the readings that I've been doing, and I've done like 6 readings or 5 readings already. So let's get into it, though. This is all about self-mastery and connecting to the highest divine guides, you know, the true divine feminine, the true divine masculine, and the sources that come from those polarities within the actual source itself. I think ultimately that you will be connecting to this energy and really finding inner peace, so that you can navigate the maze of life. You can really put in the work that you need to put in to have that self-mastery that you desire. You are working with divine timing so that your manifestations will come into you, but your manifestation is ultimately a manifestation of self-mastery. So let's just say, for example, that you were looking for romance, and you were really waiting and praying for a divine partner to come into you. You're going to have that divine partner come into you as soon as you realize that you're a whole individual. It's like it's going to happen very quickly. And that's the thing about divine timing. It doesn't mean that things are going to move slow. It means that things are not going to be moving at your pace. So if you're somebody who moves slow in the energy, a lot of times that means things might be sped up for you, instead of what you might think when I say divine timing, when you think that things are going to be moving slow. Now we have the Queen of Swords here, and how that probably relates to the Hierophant is by the psychic upgrade that I was feeling that you were going to be getting with the spiritual upgrade, that you'll first feel energetically, and then you'll feel psychically. And the reason why I'm even saying that is because the Queen of Swords definitely delves into the ideas of psychic ability and intuition, especially more than the King. And with the Hierophant here, the Hierophant being, you know, especially in this deck, more about being a spiritual guru, about being a spiritual savant, even is what my guides are saying. You are going to be moving into a need to be defending yourself. And I think a big part of that might even be related to, you know, there is a lot of deception right now going on in the spiritual communities online. You know, a lot of people who do tarot readings like this are being targeted, and a lot of the people who do have these businesses online where they sell their own personal readings are being, you know, there are fake accounts being made all the time, and there are spiritual attacks being done all the time. And then, you know, on top of that, then, you know, there's the astrological effects that people who do have psychic abilities, who do have these connections to the source, are experiencing, and that kind of slows things down for a lot of people. And then on top of that, you know, there's always people who are like sending bad energy, sending bad vibes, and it's like, can't we just get a break? You know what I mean? And I think it's really unfortunate personally how a lot of people online have, you know, the audacity to be copying somebody who's selling tarot readings for a living. You know, it's like, you can see this person is trying to make money and trying to make a living off of this skill, the talent that they have, and you want to copy that energy. I think that might even be what this is talking about here, if you're any readers out here listening to this right now. the next two energies that we have is the Ace of Cups and the Six of Swords. So you are going to be feeling a little peaceful and moving into a very calm energy after, you know, your manifestation comes in, really. And actually, we have the King of Cups here who's flipped over. So if you're dealing with any water sign individuals, especially water sign masculines, but not necessarily that it matters as far as gender is concerned, but any Scorpios, Pisces, or Cancers, they might have an offer for you that's going to be coming in through that divine timing. You're going to be connecting to that peaceful energy of the dove. Actually, I'm seeing two doves here because we have the dove in the Hierophant and we have the dove in the Ace of Cups. So you might even be looking for peacefulness while you are manifesting. And I would also say that if you're really stressed out about the things that you're manifesting, you might want to put a little bit more effort into finding that calm, centered feeling, you know, and focus on that when you're trying to do your manifestations, whether that's through mental work, through ritual work, or through any means of manifestation. Even if it means that you're just going day by day and really saying, I'm going to get what I want. Make sure that you're doing it in a calm state, because if you're overworking yourself, you're going to be overworked when your manifestation comes in, because it's going to drain you, and ultimately you don't want the things that are coming into your life that are supposed to be benefiting you and helping you get through your spiritual and just your journey overall to really be draining you in that way. The next card that we have out is the Page of Cups. I think with the Page of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Ace of Cups, that this is an indication you need to focus on your emotions as soon as your manifestation comes in. This might even be, you know, a spiritual attack that, or not necessarily a spiritual attack. I don't want to hyper focus on that, but it might even be that you need to master your emotions more so that you can connect to that intuition as you upgrade through the spiritual journey that you're having right now. If that's not it, then I can also see a relationship between an air sign and a water sign individual that's going to be coming into the fold for you very soon. It's going to be a divine union, and there's going to be a lot of energies around you, people wanting this not to happen, people praying for the situation not to happen. They're saying that this could even be the rising signs of the individuals instead of the sun signs, because they want to keep it that kind of secret. Now, I don't know who this for, but that's your business, and that can be your business. There's some work you have to put in, though, because you know who you deal with, and you also already have that intuition that you need to get through any attacks that you're going to receive, and it's also about the evil eye as well. So it's not just like, it's not like somebody's putting a curse on your lineage or something like that. It's also about the evil eye. It's also about naysayers. It's also about envy. You know, it's not all just about who's going to be cursing you, who's going to be hexing you, who's going to be, putting out a voodoo doll or whatever. It's also about, like, the day-to-day, how do people do magic without even knowing it, that kind of stuff. The next card that we have out is the Garden and the Gate. This is a 30 reducing down to a 3. This card is all about, and I've said this, other readings have had this card, I believe. I'm not sure which ones now for this week, but the Garden and the Gate is all about your comfort zone. And I think ultimately what this is meaning for me right now is that you are going to come into a new sense of a home base, especially if you are some kind of homebody, or the person that you're connecting to is a homebody. You might even be moving in together. I can see with the Garden and the Gate, just because of the energy that it's giving off at this moment. It's kind of like you're moving into seclusion, possibly, but it's like seclusion that is desired, where it's not like you're just isolating yourself because you don't want somebody to do something to what you have going on, but it's almost kind of like you might want that kind of transformation to happen for you in your life, where you are feeling a little bit more protected, you are feeling a little bit more like you have a space to really be yourself, do the things that you need to do, focus on your hobbies and that kind of thing. This is a great energy to be in, Leo, I think. Just don't get too caught up in, isolation. But that's my only thing with it. Let's get the Star Tarot out so we can figure out what this is all about. Can I have one card for the Garden and the Gate? The 3 is all about the Trinity energy, and I take the Trinity as 2 things: me, myself, and I, and also me. Okay, 3 things, which is funny because it's the Trinity: me, myself, and I. Me, you, and the universe, especially if you're in a divine union situation, but also you connecting to your higher self on the divine masculine or divine feminine, or also within the shadow and the light, which would be ultimately the same thing depending on your perspectives in that energy. We also have the Eight of Swords out, which is interesting because we had the 26 of hostilities being an 8. We had the Eight of Wands coming out, and that's an 8. Let's see if there are any other 8s in here. 8 and 3 normally run at a similar vibration energetically, but I'm actually not seeing any other 8s though. Yeah, I'm not seeing any other 8s, but that's interesting because now we have the Eight of Swords coming out. The Eight of Swords is all about mental entrapment in the traditional tarot, but this Eight of Swords is really more about breaking free from that mental entrapment, because this deck really has more symbolism that would help you. It's like it really has symbolism that's going to help you understand how to get out of the energy, more so than it is going to help you understand how the energy might be blocking you. So it's kind of like you need that preliminary idea of how the tarot would function through the traditional means with the traditional symbolism. This is all about freedom. Look at that bald eagle in the background flying out to the sky, moving through and navigating through all these negative thought cycles that they're being trapped within. And now it's flying away. And that's the thing that I was really seeing with the Garden and the Gate, is that you're going to be feeling this caged bird energy. But for some people, being a caged bird is something that they might be desiring. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know your life. I don't know your story. But you might even be coming into a new space, or moving into a new space of seclusion, or possibly even just isolating yourself from people who you know don't have your best intentions at heart, which ultimately is freedom for some individuals. I could understand that myself, not necessarily saying that that's what I want, but you know. So let's get some Morgan Greer tarot cards out for the Garden and the Gate. Okay, we have the Two of Cups. So this is going to be related to some kind of relationship. I see we have the Emperor coming out, which is a pair to the Empress. And that's the kind of undercurrent that I was really feeling, is that there is some kind of divine union happening right now, but especially between the polarities. So even if this isn't like a relationship that's happening for you in your life, for you, it might be a big relationship that's happening around you, with the Emperor and the Empress being representations of the divine masculine and divine feminine. But I also think that it's, and then we have the Two of Cups talking about a soulmate union, or possibly even just a reciprocal relationship between two consenting individuals. And it's kind of like, even if it's not happening for you, it might be happening within you. If it's not happening within you, it's happening without you and still affecting you, meaning it's happening astrologically, or it's happening, you know, energetically, and it's still going to be affecting the way that you go about your life in a certain kind of way. We have the Hierophant being a representation not only of marriage, but also a representation of self-mastery and social leadership, due to a guided path that will ultimately lead to an individual having spiritual knowledge that not many others can access on a regular basis. And this is the second time the Hierophant has come out. The Hierophant is the energy of 5, and that's what they showed me, the 5, when I looked at the card. I thought that was interesting. I also think that with the Hierophant here, you could be dealing with the Taurus person as well. The Hierophant is Taurus. But there's a lot of, like, if we got into the astrology of all these cards, we'd be sitting here all day, because I pulled out a pretty big chunk of cards, and they've all gotten different energies on them. But anyway, with the Hierophant, I could also see a possibility of marriage, which is also been coming into focus for this reading as well, because we have the Six of Wands, we have the Two of Cups, we have the Hierophant, we have the Emperor and the Empress coming out, and now we also have what else? And then we also had like the Star coming out. So if you are wanting to get married, we had all those cup energies coming out for divine timing, patience. So if you are wanting to get married, if you are wanting to have that divine union, you are very likely to have that. It's coming in for you, and it's going to give you a new sense of freedom. You might even be moving in with this person, and that's what the Garden and the Gate is really talking about, especially since that's what I was picking up on so quickly. But now let's get into some advice for you. I'm going to pull one more energy oracle card to give you some advice, and then we'll be out of here, Leo. This is a pretty simple, cut, dry reading. It's really just saying that you need to guard your manifestations, and whatever it is that you're manifesting right now is a relationship, which seems to be the undercurrent of all these readings, but it's kind of like it's presenting itself in different ways. So some people are going to be getting their, you know, relationship or their job or whatever it is that they're manifesting a little differently than others. For you, there's a select group of Leos that are going to be getting what they want, and there's also going to be a select group of Leos who are going to be seeing it for others so that they can manifest for themselves in the future. And the card that we have out for advice for you, Leo, is the Angel of Strength. This is a 50, reducing down to a 5. I was just talking to you about the 5. That probably is why they showed it to me. With the Hierophant coming out here twice, that's a similar energy where it's like, not only are you facing the energy of change by coming into some kind of form of divine mastery for yourself and within yourself, but you're also going to be facing some kind of deeper connection with certain guides, actually, because what I see here is that you might even be connecting to certain ancient deities for some of you, or possibly even some kind of spirit, animal totem, whatever you want to call it, animal guide that is, you know, more feline, more protective. And it's like, that's an interesting way that this reading has gone, because it's hostilities coming out at the beginning and the Angel of Strength coming out at the end. So in the end, because of the work that you're going to put in spiritually to have protection on yourself and within yourself, because of the things that you're manifesting, you're ultimately going to be having your guides back you up here. And that's a great indication that your guides are backing you up. 5 is all about that protection energy. It's about knowing where you're at. And the 5 is also the pivot energy between 1 and 10, or 1 and 9, depending on how you see numerology. It's about change. It's about that balance. It's about, like, you know, that, and it, so to me, it also is about action. It is about defense as well, which is also being emphasized with the 9 of Wands coming out here for you as well for your final card, Leo. The 9 of Wands says that you are battered down from the battles that have led you up to this point in the war, but you're still willing to fight, to continue on, even though you haven't let some of those scars go. You are the wounded warrior here, but you are still a warrior regardless of the wounds that you carry. And that's what's being emphasized here, and that's why your guides are coming in to protect you at this time. So I would say put more emphasis on your guides and really make sure that you're giving them the offerings, the sacrifices, or even the prayers, if that's all you give them, that they require or that they need, because they are here to protect you when you put in the effort with them as well. You will be getting this freedom situation where you're going to come into this divine union if you have patience. And I say have patience, because the cycles that you're in right now are going to be coming to an end, and you will be getting that upgrade that I talked about in the beginning of this reading, so don't forget that. And that's all I have for you, Leo. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I also hope that it gave you something. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Also find me on my other socials. I post a lot on TikTok. Thank you. Goodbye.